Welcome back to Marriage Hot Takes. I'm your host, Aaron Degler, along with my wife, Kim Degler. Thanks for joining us today. Is what we like to do each week is just share a little insight, a little thought. We've been married for 22 years, almost 22 years, and we just like to share some of our knowledge and wisdom from those 22 years. Not all good, some good, some great, but we've realized that we want to share those things because we realize that many couples go through that, but very seldom do they talk about it. So each week we usually end with a hot take that you can take with you. But this week we're going to start with the hot take and work from there. And Kim's got the hot take. And so we don't script any of this, but the hot take she does read. So all the words come out right because sometimes
they don't.
They don't.
This week's hot take. We are still married, but to different people. And that is very true.
Sounds scandalous.
Scandalous. We are married, just not to the same people.
The same people. So what does that mean?
It means we've had to grow and become different people.
Means we are married to each other.
We are married to each other.
But marriage on day one looks a lot different.
Yeah.
Both of us, this is our second marriage.
Yes.
Both of us had big weddings the first time.
Mm-hmm.
All the things back in the day when you had it in the church.
Yep, church.
And you just had punch and cake.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the
meal.
food.
Mm-mm. Just had
and then
big old dress
and a mince. Don't get the mince.
The butter mince.
Yeah.
And nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are the weddings that we had.
Mm-hmm.
But not to each other.
Not to each other. So the second time, the first we married each other just one time. But we got married at a JP.
Uh-huh.
I always joke with her. It's the best $40 ever spent.
I told somebody this week I thought it was 14. I'm gonna have to go back and say.
We're not that old.
I know, but it was Kelly, and she told everybody that her mom had married us.
Oh,
and I said, yeah, and I think that we're one of the only few couples that are still married that she had married. And I said, he says it's the best $14 you ever spent. I guess it was 40. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was so expensive.
Yeah. So actually, what she's talking about is the JP. She still lives in our town, and we see her quite often. And she had mentioned to me not too long ago that we were one of two or four.
Yeah, either
two or four couples that she married that are still together.
Yes.
And she was a JP for quite a while.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And so because of that, really is too why we're doing this, so we can share those things. But those two 28-year-olds stand in front of the JP.
Mm-hmm.
We're 28.
Yeah.
Those two stand in front of the JP at 28 with our kids, our four kids around us because we're a blended family. They were way different than the two people sitting here sharing this conversation.
Yeah. Well, and I even wrote you a note this week that even said in the note that when we stood before the JP and made that commitment to each other, I don't think I really thought too much of what that commitment would be.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that we were going through this formality to get married and become a family. But now I know that commitment was, we were committed. But we are committed.
But we never really looked at, we never looked 22 years down the road.
No.
Honestly, we probably didn't really even look for our kids. It was a lot of just for you and I.
We were very selfish.
Very selfish.
Yeah.
There's probably a gazillion reasons why we shouldn't have gotten married, and many people share those gazillion reasons with us.
Yeah, we knew.
But so we are very different people,
mm-hmm.
And it's not. Well, you're 22 years older, so of course you should be different. But it's not the age that that has.
No, it's that we chose that we were going to. We were going to be married.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that, but as time went on, we could either be married and not like each other or be married and like each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted the latter. So to do that, we were both going to need to change.
Yes, and I don't know. I mean, would you say we worked on it the first 10 years of changing?
No, we were just surviving.
Yeah,
I really
our kids,
honestly think we had little kids.
they
We
were
were in
ages 2 to
survival
6.
mode. I mean, we weren't working on anything other than just surviving with our kids and getting them where they needed to be and try to make a living. I mean, it's expensive to have
Hmm.
4 kids, and I worked full time then and late hours, and you lived the life of leisure most of the time then.
I worked full time.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
You were a student.
I worked part time. Well, yeah. So I mean, we had a lot of different things going
Yeah.
on, because there were times when I was working part time and going to school. There's times when I wasn't. I was
Yeah.
working full time, and then you were. I mean, there's just a lot. Was a lot of things
Yeah.
going on, a lot of
Yes.
dynamics,
And there
and
was no time to sit and think, we really need to work on who we are.
hmm
I mean, you hear that a lot now.
and
Our kids, and I mean, other, kids that are their age, that millennial age, and are great about going to therapy and talking through things. And we didn't grow up in that age of doing that, but we did realize we needed to be different.
and nobody was really talking about it. Nobody was telling us, you need to work on this. And I
Yeah,
don't know if we would have listened.
we wouldn't. We didn't listen to begin with.
And so our hope is that maybe that some you might hear this and be in that season that we were in. Maybe you have several kids. Maybe it's a blended family. Maybe it's a second marriage. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a first marriage, and you still have 3 or 4 kids, or just two
Two
kids, or
kids,
just
or
one
one
kid.
kid, or none.
And you're thinking this is hard. And so hopefully we can share a little bit with you that yes, it is hard,
Mhm.
but some things to focus on.
Right.
Because for our marriage to grow, each one of us had to grow.
Yes. And someone had to be the first one.
Mm-hmm. Who was the first
Well, it wasn't me. It's already pretty good.
one? Huh?
I
I was
was,
already pretty good. Yes, yes, you were already good. But it really, I mean, eh, I mean, and really, it's probably even we've had the most growth probably in the last 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
Over 22 years.
Hmm.
And really, I would say even more so the last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, because there's more room to grow, and
Mhm.
and nothing against having your kids at home, but once you're empty nesters, you do have more time to focus on you. As we've talked about before, as mom, your identity is your kids, and when they leave, that takes some time to get over. To
And would you might challenge moms that maybe that shouldn't be their identity?
Yeah, I would say find a group of ladies and go do things with them, or a hobby of your own, or some sort. Each week you need to somehow have something for you.
Yeah, I was just listening to a interview today um, with Carl Tucker. Carl Tucker? No, Tucker Carlson.
Yes.
Yes, Tucker Carlson, and he was saying that him and a group of his buddies from college, he said they made a pact at 19 that every year they would go on a trip together. The 5 of them, anywhere in the world they'd meet up and have a trip together. And he said they've done that since they were 19, so they've done that for the last uh, 35 years. And he was saying that he said, and that was some real heated uh, arguments with my wife because he said I was on the road traveling,
Right.
and he said I'd be home for a weekend and I'd say, "Hey, honey, I'm going to hang out with the boys." And it was really saying how important that is to have a group of guys because guys have an even more challenging time
I would agree.
of making friends and
Yeah, I would agree because I mean, about probably about 7 years ago, I started we my group of friends, we started doing Margarita Monday, and that just started out. We would meet. It actually started. We were planning a class reunion, and
hmm
we started meeting to plan that, and then that. We went after the class reunion. We wanted to still continue to do that, so we started having Margarita Monday. We meet at a local restaurant, have chips and queso. We don't have queso, but we have chips, and salsa and eat and have margaritas and are able to just talk about life. We are all empty nesters, and then that turned into.
But you weren't then.
No, we weren't then.
Yeah, you still had some kids at home.
Still had some at home. And then that turned into a girls' trip, and we take a girls' trip every year. And I think it's so important to have that. And just like I also feel the same way about our community of women at our fitness studio that we have. Because it gives us something to do, something for us. It's an identity that I work out and have this group of like-minded ladies. So even if you can get into something like that, I just think it's important because I just completely poured into everything was about our kids. And when they were gone, when that first one left, took a big toll on me, and a big one.
Because really, you can kind of share that. It was the first one went off to college, and then you had started having some physical health problems, and the doctor even asked, "Do you think could it be some anxiety with your son going to college?" Oh, no,
it's not that.
And you had spent a year test
wasting
after test after test, just getting thinner and thinner, just couldn't hold anything down, couldn't keep it in, and until we just found a doctor that just kind of
was more gentle.
He's more gentle with the way he approached
better
it.
Bedside manner than most.
And really just prescribed you an anxiety medicine.
And said it was for my stomach.
Yeah. And imagine that. It calmed everything down.
And sent me to a different doctor who then probably saw the same things that he saw and had, again, a better bedside manner of ways to explain things.
And really just it turned out to be anxiety.
All because
the identity was tied into a son that is in travel baseball and select baseball and going and doing, and the first one to go through all the things from prom to graduation to everything, college,
and then,
everything.
Yeah, and then that first one leaves, and you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It cost him. It did. It was a big deal, and so I think it's important that you aren't. That you have something.
Mm-hmm. That's above and beyond, whether it's husbands and wives, either way, and to be encouraging and supportive of the other person.
And you were very good at that.
To know, and I think it's easier for us again because we're at a different stage.
Yes.
But then again, as I think about younger couples, that's still important.
Yeah.
And on each side, to encourage your spouse to go hang out with the girls.
Yeah.
Go hang out with the guys. Because that is needed. And that for us, we've grown to that point. I would say when we first got married, we would have never.
That would not have happened.
No. You're going where to do what?
No, definitely not. And that so I think that growth can happen in a lot of different ways. You can go to therapy and you can do different things like that to grow. I also think, you can, as you do, listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of things and hear a lot of things that are going to help you with your mindset. You can be in the Word more, all those things. But I will say that a lot of my growth just came with meeting with my friends and being able to communicate with them in ways that maybe we don't. It's not necessarily we don't communicate. It's just we communicate differently because I'm with women that are going through the same things that we're going through, that I'm going through.
And it's not about necessarily like, what's the Little Rascals? The Women's Hater Club.
I have no idea. I've never watched that.
You never watched
that? I
don't
think so.
Is it Spanky? It's not Spanky. It's Alfalfa with the little. No, it's not. Anyhow,
his name is Alfalfa
with the little spiky. Yeah, and anyhow,
and Darla.
And Darla. I think it's the Women's Hater Club. But
it's not that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Like a men's hater club.
Yeah, it's not getting together and complaining, but it's sharing your struggles, your challenges, and and from a woman's perspective, how they handle that, what could they do, advice, It's different from a husband.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments that, we might cry together, might laugh together. I mean, it's all different. And they can love me in a way that you may not love me because they can love me from a friendship, woman to woman. You love me, man to woman, friendship, love, partner.
And as husband, I go, okay, what do I need to fix it?
Right.
How do I need to fix that? That must be a problem.
Yeah, because that's your first thing to always say is, I'm going to fix it. I don't need it fixed. I'm not looking for you to tell me how to fix it. I just need to waller in it. And I think sometimes with your girlfriends like that, you can sit and waller and they're going to just waller with you.
Have another margarita.
Have another Let's get another one.
Chips.
Grab it. Hey, can you bring us another? And not to where it's to an extent, or that's not the word I'm looking for. Not to where it's
too much,
whatever that word is. But just it's different, and so that I think started maybe like my thinking of changing, and then as you changed,
and then a few years ago, this is your 4th year now. You started reading the Bible in a year, and so you haven't missed a day in like over 1,000+ days.
Yep,
this is your 4th year.
I've not missed a day.
And that, and you might say the first year is like, I mean, you might not say, oh, well, it didn't really make a difference. You're like, I just read it.
I read it.
But now, from my perspective, I can start to see a difference.
Yeah.
In how it's changed.
Has changed me.
Yeah. How it's helped you grow in understanding, in when you write me a note or send me a text in scripture that you might send, or thoughts you might have, or prayer that you might have. I still give her a hard time. Not too long ago, we were changing garbage disposal.
Now, you have to back up and say, I'm not a prayer out loud. I will pray with you out loud at bedtime, and it's not ever very good.
Yeah, but you're not a prayer out loud.
But we did that one time in Sunday school, and I had to say, no, thank you, I'm not doing that. No, I don't pray out loud.
I don't pray out loud. And so we were working on this garbage disposal, and we're really having a challenge with it.
And he's not good with it.
And I'm not good with things.
With handyman
mechanical stuff. So I wasn't figuring it out, and Kim wasn't figuring it out, and she said, well, let's just sit here on the floor and pray on it. And when she said
over it,
yeah, I mean, I like to call it an incinerator because it's more funny than a garbage disposal. So we now refer to that as the incinerator prayer, because there's like this most elaborate, amazing prayer that she did over us getting this garbage disposal in, and she got done, and she goes, oh, let me look at this one thing, because she's the handyman more than me, and it went right in.
Yeah, we had no issues after that.
Yeah, and so we call it the incinerator prayer. But that's huge growth.
Yes.
That wouldn't even happen last year.
No.
And so, we try to, each of us, grow individually, and then how do we apply that to our marriage? How do we apply that to each other?
Right.
And be an example. I mean, in that way, you're an example to me, through the Word, and as much as you've read the Bible, and you're better at it than me. And
thanks.
And there's other things that I think sometimes I'm better at connecting scripture and application, and how do we do it, and the thought process through that. But together we have grown, and which makes our marriage stronger because of the way we take time, we communicate.
Yeah, I agree. And you're different and I'm different. You were always short-tempered, and I was always jealous. So those are two huge things for us, that you could always count on. I was going to be very jealous, but we always had to be very careful about what we would say around you, because you were hot-headed. Just lose your temper fast.
Lose my temper fast.
Yeah, not hot-headed, but like. And
it's mainly around family.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah. Or if it's just, like, if you're trying to fix something.
Yes, I'm trying to fix something.
Like the garbage disposal didn't get thrown.
It didn't. And that was a huge, I mean.
It is.
Yeah.
We've grown. I prayed over it and you didn't throw
it. I mean, typically when I get frustrated with things, if it's a tool or something, I'll just toss it.
I mean, just like today, I had heard that the treadmill gave you trouble this morning, and I wasn't there, and you were in front of a group of about 10 ladies, and I thought, oh my goodness. I had to ask my friend, how did he do with that? How did he handle himself? He did fine.
I handled it very calmly.
Yeah.
Again, because it has been years of work.
It's been years of us working on those things.
Of being intentional about.
Like for me, I have to intentionally tell myself, we are committed to each other.
Mm-hmm. That is our commitment. As we stood in front of the JP.
In front of Kelly's mom.
Yep.
We stood in front of Kelly's mom. And committed our lives to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you're committed to me. And I can't let all the lies come in that want to tell me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And that is huge growth for me.
And because I think that's a stronger mind.
Yes.
That's stronger to say those are lies. Those aren't truth, because I know what I see, how he acts, what he does.
I know his actions.
Mm-hmm.
I know him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a big growth for me. And now I'll still take somebody down.
You still give them the old.
Yeah, I know I can handle myself. But
the karate.
Yeah, if you weren't watching that, I did my karate moves.
Hands. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's been huge for me.
Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, for both of us, that's been even really recent within the last year.
Yeah.
That we've really worked on. So it's not like these things we've been working on just happen overnight. I mean, we've been working on them, but we've just been able to kind of see the difference for both of us within the last year.
Yeah.
And which is encouraging to us.
Yeah. And things that we don't just stew over.
Mm-hmm.
We are able to say, you know what? Wasn't a big fan.
Mm-hmm. And we're able to talk about it and talk through it.
Where we would not have talked through it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been thinking about my next response.
Right. And we would have had a very ineffective communication. Would have turned into an argument.
Or that would have lasted for several days.
Then typically one gets louder than the other because surely the other one's not hearing you. Because
obviously.
So you get louder and louder and just gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So it's really about, we are the same DNA that was married 22 years ago, but we are different spiritually. We're different emotionally. We are different mentally. And none of those are by accident. We could have very easily be those same people.
Yeah.
If we hadn't intentionally, because there's a lot of challenges too that we had with a blended family and growth through that. That could have been a big problem. That I think could have been a big cause to, if we had decided to get divorced, just because, not because of anything the kids were doing, but because how you and I couldn't get on. And one of our growths, one of our big things, probably maybe 6-7 years after we married, maybe 5 or 6, 7 years, when we decided we're on the same team.
We're on the same team.
And that made a huge difference in our marriage.
Yeah, and we do talk about that a lot because, and I think sometimes you forget you're on the same team, and I don't think that's necessarily always for just blended families. I just think it's in general, because I think sometimes mom carries a lot of the weight, and not necessarily a lot of the weight, but they want to shield the kids a little bit more. And so, even when I was growing up, I didn't tell mom before I tell dad because maybe we won't have to tell dad, And so I think it's some of that same things, but I think sometimes you got to remember, like, we're on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
But with a blended family, I think it was even harder because you have that family dynamic. And once we realized it's not y'all versus us, or, it's us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to stay united. So this decision is going to be what we're going with because we are on the same team.
And I think it was too about being on the same team. We talked about what do we want that team to look like? What's our goal as a team?
Right.
And our goal as a team for our kids was to raise them in a manner that we thought was good for them, an environment that was good for them, that would show them responsibility, some leadership, some different things. And when we got on the same, when we realized what our goals are and we're on the same team, it really started to make some difference. And we stopped having as many heated discussions sometimes over the kids too.
Right.
Because too, sometimes as a blended family can get difficult.
Yeah.
Because you have these thoughts about one or the other.
Mhm.
But you wouldn't, you're not parenting my kid, your kid, things like that. And that's one thing we never did.
From the get-go.
We never called anybody a step kid,
Or your kid or
or
my
your
kid.
kid or my kid, because we always said, well, steps are for walking on, and we don't walk on anybody in our family, and we don't ever refer to that.
That's never been our lingo.
Anybody that knows us probably wouldn't even know, if they didn't know us before that we're a blended family.
Right.
They would never know that.
Right.
Which was our goal.
Mhm.
As a team, is because we want nobody to feel like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to feel like that. We don't want our kids to feel like that. And so that was a big growth for us.
Yeah.
When we decided we were on the same team. And then we just continue to look for things. How can we grow? Because we're not all grown up.
No.
Because we're both 50. We're older, but
I'm 51.
but we think, I know we've talked about at 50 or 51, you think, I thought I'd know more than this. Or I thought I would.
Like I think about my parents at 51, and I think they had to know the whole world by that. And I still feel like I'm trial and error every day.
Every day. Here we go again.
Here we go again. What am I going to learn? What lesson have I not learned yet that I'm still trying to learn?
Let me learn it today on my 51.
What is the Lord going to send me today that He is saying you have still not learned it yet?
And there's still growth in us.
Yeah.
And
I hope that you never stop growing for me. That would be my hope.
No.
Why you look at me so long like that?
Well,
that didn't make sense.
No, it did make sense. I was just trying to process it.
Yeah.
I was pausing in the process because I was thinking, I don't want to sound selfish, but I don't know if it's because I'm necessarily growing for you.
Right.
I think I'm growing for myself, and then
I hope
take
you never
that.
Stop growing.
Yeah, and then I apply that to you, because I go, wow, I just want to make her life better, but I also go, man, I also feel better because I've grown.
Yeah.
And I hope the same is true for you, that you grow for you, and then 'cause I think that's kind of important, because what happens if we just do something for the other person?
Right.
We begin a little resentful. Oh,
Yes.
you want me to change? Oh, okay. I'm not good enough.
Yeah, and I think you should probably say that for this, is that it was never about changing for the other person. It was changing because you wanted a change.
We never said to the other, you need to change.
And you know what? You could look at it like this. I thought the 80s were the best decade, or my favorite decade ever.
Because side note, if you'd like to read a book about the 80s.
I do have a book about the 80s. I do. But you can't stay in that time. You still have to continue to grow. You're always growing. And it's the same way in your relationships, with anyone, but your relationship, your marriages, you have to continue to grow. You can't be stuck back in the 80s. I can't be stuck back in 2004 when we got married. It's not going to benefit either of us.
Because a lot of times, if you haven't heard it, if you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah. Think about, you have hair that grows. There's things on your ear get a little longer as you get a little older. They grow.
Your nose gets bigger.
Nose gets bigger. So things are growing. If they start, you want to be. Oh, I'm glad they're growing.
Yeah.
And that really is. You don't want to stay the same.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be married to the same person I married 22 years ago.
That's why you're married to a different one.
That's right.
We're the same, but we're different.
We're the same, but different. And that's really today's hot take.
That's right.
Is we are the same people, but we are completely different.
Yeah.
We would have different conversations with our 28-year-old selves.
Yeah.
If those 28-year-olds were sitting here now, you would be listening to a completely different conversation. and there are some things we'd like to tell those 28-year-olds. And our hope is that as we share our our journey, our life together so far, that maybe there are some those in their 20s that we can impart some of that wisdom that when we think about if we're talking to our 28-year-old selves because they need to hear what we're saying. Um, but we should always be growing, always be changing. Because what was the hot take again? We'll leave them with the
You have to
scripted
give me
hot take.
a heads up first, so I can get that pulled up. Today's hot take: we are still married, but to different people.
So our hope is that you're still married one day, but to different people. Continue to grow, continue to make a difference in each other's lives, and continue to build the relationship together because marriage is not easy. A good marriage takes a lot of work, takes hard work, but it's well worth it. So thank you for joining us on today's Marriage Hot Takes, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time.